Thank you for having me.
Let me ask you about the family. What are your thoughts about the future of this family? Was this family destroyed by what happened that day? Can this family put the pieces back together? What are your thoughts there about how this is going to play out for them?
I mean, it certainly was a dark chapter that day, and what the future holds, I think, is to be determined. Right now, they can't have contact with Fatima. She is in extended foster care. And what the future holds is, time will tell. There's so much damage that was done on so many levels to so many people here. And, to see my client's first words coming out of jail is her expressing her love for her daughter is powerful. Blood is thicker than water. And, there was a lot going on that led up to this. And it is not easy being a teenager. It's not easy being the parents of a teenager. And, I hope that the right thing happens moving forward, whatever that may be.
I look at the case here, and I look at what happened with the family, and I look at the charges, attempted murder. There was a lot at stake here. I mean, a whole lot at stake. Why do you think it was attempted murder, and how did the concept of the honor killing end up in these police reports? Like, what was going on with the family? What? Because you didn't have to put your client on the stand because they didn't have the evidence against your client. So
now, what I want y'all to listen to is what he says here. Right? Now, just listen to the attorney, not Vinny so much, even though I love Vinny. But let's listen to this attorney, what he says, guys. I'm telling you, I think it was a lot of stuff that we assume certain things about how the prosecution team handled this case. And listen, just listen.
We didn't get to hear that side of it. So what was that side of it, and why do you think it ended up the way it did in terms of the charges?
So I think what was lost on some of the viewers, understandably so, because they didn't see the pretrial motions, is the state moved to exclude any reference to honor killing. It was not something that was put forward.
Did y'all hear that? That the state excluded that information from coming in. So they didn't want that information coming in. It wasn't the defense. It wasn't any of them saying don't put it in there. And now he's going to tell us the reason why. Listen.
Forth by Fatima. It was something that came up between the adults at the hospital, and it made its way into a police report, and then it went wild from there. When I spoke with her in the defense interview, she said this wasn't an honor killing by my parents. There was no attempt for an arranged marriage. And so, to people who are on the outside looking at this trial and they hear it being described as an honor killing or attempted honor killing, yeah, they have lots of questions. But when the jury, the facts that were presented to the jury by the state moved to exclude any, allegations of an honor killing because it really wasn't rooted in fact. It didn't come from their daughter. The state in its closing said, Mr. Ali did not intend to kill her when he went up there. And it was only at that bus stop that their theory is that during that melee, he formed the intent to kill, and the jury rejected that theory.
So was there a trip to Iraq, a one-way ticket to Iraq? Is there more to the story? Because people are trying to jump ahead, say one-way ticket to Iraq. That means you're not coming back.
So there was a trip planned to Iraq that day. And what was interesting is that Fatima never told her parents that she didn't want to go. And so, she was struggling in school. There was, controversy at home, her running away. And they said, you know what, let's just take a break. We're going to have you go to Iraq with your mom and your sis and your brothers. and one of your sisters, and dad's going to stay home. And she didn't tell her parents she didn't want to go, and she decided to run away at 4 o'clock that morning. They went around looking for her. She described her dad walking up to her at the bus stop saying calmly in Arabic, just come home, let's talk, come on, come home. And then the chaos ensued. And so they had traveled to Iraq before. She simply, wished to stay home. And mom and dad weren't comfortable having her stay at home, given kind of the issue she was having, given that dad was working 14 hours a day. And her older sister was in school full time and not around. And so they did not have a return trip plan because they didn't know when they were going to do that, but that wasn't unusual.
So what's the genesis of the conflict in the home? Is it the boyfriend? Is it dating in general? Is it the trip to Iraq? What exactly do you believe led to this conflict where you've got Fatima who's basically running away from home and could be interpreted in a certain way? You're leaving early in the morning, you don't want to go back.
I mean, there was police contact, some incidents where she was getting in trouble, where the police were being called outside of the home. There was issues with her attending school and, I think rebelling against what her parents wished, and her parents didn't want her dating before she was an adult, and there was conflict there. And so that's why, she was running away. She ran away before this, and the police were involved trying to find her. Isaiah's parents testified, or his dad testified, that they had asked them not to date as the parents, respecting the wishes of the Alis. And, kids are going to do what kids are going to do.
So what's your perspective of this? Obviously, you've been an attorney representing many different people, different circumstances, different cases. Is this an example, would you call it an example of our system working or our system not working?
Well, I think the system didn't work in terms of the charging decisions. I think the jury decision absolutely worked. The evidence was that my client arrived after the conflict had started. She went up to her daughter, consoled her daughter, and her daughter said to the police that night, I don't think mom was trying to hurt me. She was trying to protect me from the chaos. I have never seen an attempted murder case where the victim is saying that the person who's on trial did not intend to actually hurt me. And how those charges ultimately were brought, I disagreed with, and the jury concluded the state didn't prove its case. The jury was intentional, deliberate, attentive, and I think that they reached the right result in acquitting her of those 4 charges.
Yeah, it's interesting because we have guests on every night, and when this verdict came in, we were all kind of talking and realized we all were on the same place, that this jury, they put the time in, but they also ended up, it seems, in the right place in terms of what we saw in the video and what we took from the testimony. Does it end here? Like for this family, is this a family that's going to be involved in the legal process in the future because your daughter's out of the home and everything else that has happened here? Or can they make a break and get back to some sense of normalcy?
I mean, I'd like to think that it's going to reach some level of normalcy. The fact that Fatima is now 18, she can make the decisions for her own. I don't represent Zahraa in those proceedings, but, I would hope that now that she's been released, she can start the process of putting her life back together.
Well, Tim Leary, we appreciate your time. I know a lot of people want to talk to you, so we appreciate you coming on the day after a big, big verdict. And have a great day. Thanks so much.
So I only brought this up to kind of give y'all insight in regards to maybe what the jurors are thinking, right? And I'm just speaking in regards to mom's position. I thought that, and I kept asking this question throughout this. Now, I'm not even speaking about dad because, like I said, what dad did, hey, with or without anything, that's just egregious, right? Like, we can't be strangling our kids. But when we're talking about mom and her position in all of this, and where this honor K came from, Like, this is something that people, it seems like they picked it from her. Now, this also explains why the oldest daughter is not out here married. Because I know people had questions like, well, why is the older daughter not out here married? It's because it wasn't really that. Right? They took this title and like this incident and put these in her words in the daughter's mouth. Like, the daughter did not say this. And if you heard what he said, that's why the state excluded that information from the case, right? Because they didn't have anything factual. And I don't know if one of the networks or media got the information and ran with it. And we know how sometimes what we can do in the media, right? So that's what I wanted to really like bring to everybody's attention in regards to that portion. This is not in regards to the dad, because what the dad did, regardless if it was that or not, right? So, and I can believe what he's saying is plausible, because when Fatima got on the stand, she said that she never told her parents that. She found out from her sister that she didn't want to go to Iraq, right? I don't know where all this arranged marriage stuff come in at, but she didn't want to go to Iraq because she feels she didn't like it over there in Iraq. And we do know how teens can be, right? So she didn't want to go over there. And unfortunately, whether we like it or not, just as being a parent and me also, we all been teens, right? And we know when we get set in our ways and we don't want to do stuff and we want to do other things and it's against our parents' will, like we get to smelling ourselves and we be like, forget you. Right? So yeah, I know that hearing from Fatima will be better. I don't know. She'll probably speak out because I don't know. And maybe I'm just looking at it from the wrong end. I don't think that mom what I want to say. I don't think mom, I think what she got charged, what she originally, what held was right for her. Yeah, and I don't know if they'll do it. I don't know. I know you did hear that she's in extended foster care. I kind of figured that they had her with a foster family. She is 18 now. So maybe that'll be something. Yeah, but in the same thing, Irish, when you're saying that, you got to remember they saying testimony came out that mom came up to the scene after everything had happened. So when whatever video they seen, they didn't believe that mom was trying to further harm her daughter. She was trying to console her daughter. I mean, we can't. I guess in my thing, I just don't want to make things um to where they're not. Like, we didn't see the video, so I don't know, but apparently the jurors seen that video and they said, hey, she was not trying to hurt her daughter. She was trying to console her daughter. And we just have to take it for, what they saw. But they said mom got up there after the scene. So I can just imagine, yeah, you're looking for your daughter. She comes up, she sees all this commotion. Dad is getting the living mess kicked out of him by the bystanders, right? She don't know what's going on. She goes over there and console her daughter. Her daughter runs away from her. She tries to chase her daughter. They lock the doors at the school, right? So she comes back and now she like, oh, her husband is being arrested. She don't know what's going on, right? So she kind of like, my husband, my husband, my husband. I can just see it. And we got to remember that this is all in real time. Like, we're just sitting here analyzing it, right? After the fact. And hindsight can be 20/20 of everything that we should have, all the woulda, coulda, shoulda. But just thinking outside of the box.